Hey there, change agents. It's Courtney and Lena from Kynection. Our series, Kai Meets Dilbert, is the oasis in the desert for business leaders thirsty for a lift in the dry conversation of quality, health, safety, and environment. Are you asleep yet? Hope not, because in every episode, we will explore the parody of the Dilbert comics by Scott Adam against the backdrop of Industry X or Industry 4.0. We will cover many topics from compliance audits to advances in BizTech with a focus on our digital backbone, the one system as we call it. Let's drink. Well, here we are again, Lena.
Hi, Courtney.
Dilbert Series continuation. I note that you've changed your hair again. We've gone from the red to the gold. You sick of those Ronald McDonald jokes?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Look, we've only got a few colours you can really use though to be appropriate for our audience, and that's blue and gold, right? So we all know that as colours. So as we step into this series, perhaps we can excite the viewers with a few blue hair tips. Anyway, on to the more important elements of today's session, which is a focus around our ISO9001 theme and the inspirations of ISO 9001 or quality. We have identified in our business, and we think with the businesses in which we work with, that the greatest assets are not necessarily the machinery, the IT systems, the buildings in which we operate. They're the
People.
Yeah. Businesses start and end with people, and we're very strong that the cultural building, the delivery of purpose for a workforce is a critical component of running a successful business. So in today's topics, leaning back into the Dilbert concept of that satirical edge, something to giggle about that we see in business every day. The topics we're going to focus on are around support and where that fits into ISO 9001, being clause 7. These are the setup clauses really for ISO, aren't they? These are all the clauses that get ISO into a flow and a mood. And then we get into deeper elements of Clause 8 and the like in the back end of the series. We'll touch on a case study that's very close to our hearts, one around the Cancer Council, and we'll get into that and how they touch the lives of many. And then we'll step into an important piece from our perspective, which is as a technology company, innovation. You could say innovation could be one of your greatest assets. So let's move on and let's kick it off. As always, Lena, we kick off our presentation with a little Dilbert comic. I think the potency of this particular piece that we've picked for today is that it sort of demonstrates, in my mind, that there's an easy way for people to be aligned to their own objectives and goals. And whilst you need to foster those and be across your team and make sure that your team knows that you care about what's happening in their lives, in order to drive a really successful company, you need to make sure that everyone's on the same page, following a similar purpose, objective, and goal orientation. So, I have a bit of a giggle at this one because, frankly, it comes down to a motivation that is individually focused. And I think if a business can get that sort of thinking out of their day-to-day operations and have the whole team working towards an outcome that's linked, aligned, it's a good thing. What do you think, Lena?
I agree. Clause 7, the ISO standard, talks about providing infrastructure, ensuring competence, providing and monitoring resources, communication, documentation, and things like that. But something that's very, very important is a sense of purpose. A sense of purpose is a binder of all of this, because you can have all the resources and still have your staff sitting, twiddling their thumbs, because the motivation will be missing. So the motivation is how good you can spread your mission and your values, so your vision, your mission, how you can inspire the business, the employees of the business to give them a sense of contribution, of meaning that whatever they're doing matters, their inputs matter, and they have a purpose. Everything that they do has a purpose.
Absolutely. And as we said from the get-go, people are the greatest assets in business, and you'll get your best for any business. So agree wholeheartedly. So on to our case study. Lena, today's case study is on the Cancer Council. And the reason why the Cancer Council is dear to my heart is that I was and have been touched by cancer in my family, and I know how hard it is to deal with. And so 20 years on, it's still an impact, okay, this beast cancer we know. Having said that, we, in our inspirational articles, defined the Cancer Council as a company that has an amazing culture and is filled with purpose. And everyone in every seat, because it's got that deep sense of potential impact for life, tends to be on the boat of purpose. So could you maybe explore out and just peel back some of the thought process you came up with around the inspirational series for Cancer Council?
Yes. So we have a series of articles which we will provide a link to. It's called Inspirational Sides of ISO. We found the best suitable companies in our view for each one of the clauses. For clause 7, which is support, we chose the Cancer Council. The reason for that is not only because it does such a great work for the community and helps people and families who go through a fight with cancer, but they also are very, very supportive towards their employees. They give their employees a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning, a sense of calling, that everything they do matters and that their contribution matters, and they look after their mental health, the mental health of their employees, and they give them this fuel and this drive that everything they do is really important. And that's one of the key reasons that they have so many volunteers and so many people who are so happy and so passionate to work for them. Because it's not always about how much you pay someone or how many resources or what type of chairs or desks you have in your office. It's that drive that someone goes to bed thinking about the company and wakes up in the morning happy to come to the company because they feel inspired, they feel motivated, they feel a sense of belonging.
Look, I really love that concept of fuel in business, and I think that Cancer Council uses their team as a fuel to drive outcomes. In a technology business, salaries are always a topic of debate, which makes it hard, but we work hard, like any company should, to try and find something that's more than salary. And I think if you can find that special ingredient and you can tie that in with tools and systems and approaches that add value to everyone's day-to-day, make their jobs easier, I think you'll create that purpose. So yeah, super topic. Please get across and have a look at the article then put together. So here we are in the bit that we really like, because it's what we're all about on a day-to-day basis. So not that I don't like our people and not that I don't like purpose, but I do love tech, you know that. And in this finish out of our Dilberts, we always try and touch on a bit of innovation, try and think or inspire some thinking around how a little piece of additional tech or thought process can add value. All right. So the good thing about today's topic and what I like the most is that you found this amazing quote, and I think it really demonstrates clearly what technology is about. And what is that quote?
Technology is best when it brings people together.
Yeah. And I think that's about design, right? And ideation. And when you're thinking about how to put something into your business, you need to think how it ties your people. It binds your people and drives them into a single mission. Yep. The other bit of the innovation series that we talk about is this Zen statement, and we'll hold on this for the whole series. So before enlightenment, one must chop wood and carry water. A bit old school in my mind, in that we've moved on a little bit since I'm pretty sure Zen came up with this idea. After enlightenment, research and NFT. And for those out there in the audience that don't know what an NFT is, it's a non-fungible token. Not helping you much, am I? No, but it's the next generation of, I'll call it memorabilia or art in a digital format. And I think it's worth everyone in the audience going and have a look under the search term NFT. And if you want to see something in action around NFTs, look at the games industry that's growing and a game called Axis Infinity. And in Axis, they've linked in the concept of cryptocurrency and playing to earn and all of these sorts of things in a multi-billion-dollar industry. So go and check it out and take a look. Oh, here we are. So I hope I've blown your minds a bit about NFTs, Lena, and tell you something to say. Quite surprised that, to be frank, when I brought this into our team, all technologists, every time I say at one of our group meetings or our lunch and learns, you guys, you've got to get on this crypto thing. You've got to be behind NFTs. All of these young, enthusiastic developers look at me, roll their eyes back and go, what the hell are you talking about and why? But I'll always drive from the front, Lena, as you know, and try and come up with stuff that's innovative and add value back to our day-to-day lives. So here's the bit we talk about, the segue, where we talk about our company, some of the things that we do, some of the innovations we think are important to improving the day-to-day operations of business. At the end of the day, we talked prior to the session and we have this concept of digital backbone. We talk about purpose, right? And I don't know if there's a digital backbone that can fix purpose. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Well, we do have something.
Yeah.
So in addition to everything else that's in clause 7 that we definitely can provide in KIM, we're also working on something called Pulse.
Yes.
And in Pulse, every team member can feel that they have a sense of purpose because this is the place for them to bring different ideas or say, I want a team engagement and I want us to do this and that. I want us to go play basketball together, or I want us to do a zombie apocalypse.
12 days.
12 days.
Hey.
Sorry, 12 days together. Or I think someone from support, for example, in our organization can say, I think that this and that will improve the project management area, or that we should do this and this in sales. And basically any person from the business can add contribution to all of the business, to any aspect of the business. And this is how everyone can feel included.
Yeah, so that's that bottom-up strategy, right, of business, and that's what they're saying in the next generation of technology you need to be designing for, is the ability to take your teams, the teams that do the day-to-day operations, and surface up all of that smart, on-the-ground thinking into your business so that you can, as a leader, identify those little snippets, those pieces of gold that can make a difference that you might not have seen because you're sitting at a different spot in the universe. Anyway, that's a little bit about a lead into our technology. So one of the elements in our business that we operate is a system called KIM, and KIM provides a whole suite of modules and solutions that improve the day-to-day operations of business. We have a HR module, which we've talked about previously, and while we're in these softer, tactile elements of a business, HR and people, it's really important you have the tools to manage those people. We believe that systems that can take the journey from the very front recruitment phase all the way through to exit positive, sometimes negative, it's important to have a system in place. Can you give some insights about these systems? Pulse was one, and perhaps a little bit more around HR and knowledge base and how they go to the life of an operator.
Yeah, so our new HR module is very advanced and inclusive in a sense that you can run the entire HR process through one app. So I can add any candidates that I'm searching for into KIM.
Yep.
I can do any reference checks and any interviews using KIM. If we decide to onboard an employee, then we can capture all of the information that we need in KIM. We can manage the induction of the employee.
Certificates and training.
Certificates and training.
Yeah, big tickets.
Yeah, and we can also assign any roles, any tasks, any information that the person needs to complete with forced workflows and articles in our knowledge base. So knowledge base is basically a manual where you can add any information, any policies, any procedures, any instructions relevant to your organization. And another thing that you can do in the HR module is ongoing reviews.
Yeah, it's true. Look, and I'll start there because I'm trying to make sure I'm ticking through the key information we've covered for today. The one thing though, and the big ticket I reckon that helps to drive purpose is to pay people. And we have some really cool stuff around paying people, don't we? Particularly around timesheet capture, the unique ways you capture time in the field through different roles and different locations and the like, and then making sure you align to the legislation, the EBA requirements of paying for site allowances, paying for apprentices, and their allowances, covering off sick leave, annual leave, RDOs, etc. They're all really complex elements. But at the end of the day, the fundamental is a pay packet's correct and it's paid on time.
Yeah, and if you're curious to hear more about how it works, we integrate with MYOB, Xero, Reckon, and any other accounting software.
Absolutely. So we'll close on that. Don't ever lose sight or forget the inspirational elements under support, under ISO 9001, like compassion, collaboration, trust, and purpose. Thanks for your time. We look forward to seeing you in the next series.
Special thanks to our clients and partners for contributing to our knowledge as we continually improve KIM, our one system, built for Industry X. Additionally, we would like to give thanks for the inspiration of this series to Scott Adams, who brought to light the most frustrating aspects of business in his Dilbert series. Scott wore many hats and jobs while creating the Dilbert comic series. Dilbert was first launched in 1989 and now appears in 2,000 newspapers in 57 countries and 19 languages.